Most people love their pets more than they love themselves. With their adorable naivete and happy-go-lucky nature, our four-legged friends are able to provide enough entertainment to last us a lifetime. But they can also scare us every now and then with their antics. Thanks for that ominous intro, creepy coat-wearing cat. From prankster pooches to mischievous moggies, coming up are some pets that almost manage to give their owners a heart attack. Did you know that adult dogs have more teeth than humans? Well, most dogs, that is.
Give me them teeth.
Give me them. Give me them. Give me teeth.
Molly, give Derek back his teeth. Give him back his teeth.
He knocked them out.
He'll have to eat his food through a straw.
What is this weird, part dog, part human hybrid? And why can't I tear my eyes away from the terrifying, toothy expression on its face? There's no reason to panic, guys. This sneaky pooch named Molly isn't really a mutant. She just managed to run off with her owner's dentures. I can only imagine the shock these dog owners experienced when they first realized where the missing set had gone. And now that Molly has gotten them in her mouth, she doesn't seem to want to give them back again.
Molly?
Yeah, Molly,
Come here.
Give me teeth.
Come here, you matting.
Give me teeth. Give me teeth.
She may be a small dog, but she looks pretty ferocious in her new set of gnashers, not to mention all that defensive growling. But no matter how much her owner begs, Molly stands her ground.
Give me teeth. She knocked them at me. And she's sitting there looking at me. Give me them.
Give Del Boy back his teeth. Oh.
We may never know whether Molly's owner got his teeth back again, but I'm willing to bet she still has them to this day. Psst, listen up. What if I told you I can put a smile on your face that would rival Molly's big, toothy grin? All you've got to do is head on over to those like and subscribe buttons and show them some love. And don't forget to tickle that little bell icon too. You'll get a whole host of weird, wonderful, and downright amazing content right into your subscription box in return. What's not to love? After a long, hard day at work, reuniting with your pet can be just the thing you need to turn that frown upside down. But imagine opening the front door to find this two-headed beast staring right back at you instead. Ever heard the story of Cerberus, the multi-headed dog who guards the gates of hell? Well, you're looking at the golden retriever version. It might take you a moment to figure this one out, but the two front legs you see actually belong to the pup on the left. Phew, I thought this was some kind of Frankenstein's monster dog for a second there. When you have a puppy, it's important to keep an eye on them at all times. These fluffy balls of pure excitement are always getting into all sorts of mischief, even though it's usually not intentional. One doggy daycare center learned that the hard way when they turned their backs for a second and discovered this scene of absolute carnage. Forget Roomba, the robot vacuum cleaner. This particular appliance should be named the Pumbaa. I like to imagine the following chain of events occurred here. 1. Puppy poops on the floor. 2. Puppy jumps on the Roomba to avoid stepping in her own poop. 3. Roomba runs over the poop and proceeds to spread it all over the floor, creating a piece of stinky abstract art. Of course, the real pièce de résistance here is the look on her face. She's like, it had nothing to do with me, guys. Most of the time, cats are pretty elegant creatures. They're able to slink around without making barely any noise, and they can make themselves scarce, pretty sharpish. But then there's this cat who wants to make his presence absolutely known at all times. Is anyone else seriously creeped out by this unnatural two-legged stance? 5.5-year-old Riggs, the rescue cat, has been standing upright like this as long as his owners can remember. I bet it made them jump out of their skin the first time he did it. Apparently, he stands like this whenever he wants petting. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't feel so confident approaching this beefcake. He looks more like a nightclub bouncer than a here kitty kitty type. Speaking of creepy pets, is there some kind of protocol available when your dog unexpectedly turns into a vampire like this? Those beady black eyes look like they're staring straight into my soul, and those sharp teeth, big yikes. But here's the catch, those aren't even his real eyes. This seemingly spooky photograph has conveniently captured this pooch mid-yawn. Those piercing eyes are actually his natural black markings, which look like eyes because they're all screwed up. This may be an optical illusion of sorts, but those teeth are all real. Anyone who owns a dog will know that they get excited about just about anything, and peak excitement levels usually result in one thing: chaos. In February 2020, 2 dog owners in Florida learned that the hard way when this happened.
Don't say anything. Grab torch.
Talk about making an entrance. In case you couldn't already tell, 2-year-old Fallon is one seriously athletic dog. That afternoon, she was playing in the backyard when she ran back indoors chasing her owner, Paul. Apparently, she has jumped over the sofa many times to get to her favorite spot, but it seems like this time she overshot just a little and ended up crashing through it instead. After her epic somersault, the whole family, including their 3 other pups, seemed to be in total shock, while Fallon is all like, so that wasn't supposed to happen, right? Thankfully, the whole thing was captured on doggy cam for the world to see, or Fallon probably gave herself a fright, not to mention stopping her owner's hearts for a second, but thankfully she didn't injure herself in the process. That's the last time she'll go bounding in like that again. What's the most chaos your pet has ever caused? Maybe your dog chewed up all your furniture, or perhaps your cat pulled down your wardrobe while attempting a daring leap. Whatever it is, I want to hear about it. Let me know in the comments below. I might even get back to some of my favorites. Now let's get back to the laugh riot. There's nothing quite as scary as the mini heart attack you get when you suddenly think your pet has gone missing. After wandering around the house, shouting their name to no avail, you might start to panic a bit. But it's important to check every nook and cranny, especially if you own a cat. It looks like cats really are liquid. In fact, award-winning studies have proven that cats are able to adapt their bodies to pretty much any container if we give them enough time. It seems like this cat really wanted to put that theory to the test, although he probably ended up making his owner jump out of their skin in the process. One of the first things you want to teach your dog is not to pull too hard on the lead when you take them out for a walk, especially if they're a little on the larger side. What happens if you don't manage to curb that overexcitement? Well, this. When this motorist drove down a rural road in the Czech Republic in 2015, the last thing he expected to see was a big Saint Bernard bounding happily across the street, dragging a kid face down behind him. You have to give this kid some respect for not letting go of the leash, even in the face of defeat. Sometimes you have to ask yourself, are you taking your dog for a walk, or is the dog walking you? Even when they're just minding their own business, pets can give you a serious fright. I can only imagine the horror this owner experienced when they realized their cat's arm had mysteriously fallen off. For such a horrific injury, it's odd that this Moggy in question is just sitting there nonchalantly like, and what about it? In case you're still having trouble figuring this one out, it looks like this person is also a dog owner. How do I know? Because the severed limb you see actually appears to be a dog chew that just looks like the cat's arm. In fact, his real arm is just tucked underneath him out of sight. I like to imagine this cheeky cat knew exactly what he was doing. Does your pet have any special talents? Maybe your dog can do a handstand or bark vaguely in tune. But one cat owner from the Ukraine found out that their cat was musically gifted in the creepiest way possible in October 2020. After hearing this ominous music from the other room, this poor person probably thought they'd plunged into a scene of an 80s horror movie, until they round the corner and find their cat stood on the synthesizer, that is. The ridiculous coat this kitty is wearing is what really tops off this brilliant clip. It's like the four-legged equivalent of Dora the Explorer wielding a knife. Dogs are curious by nature. They love exploring their surroundings, and when they get a whiff of an unusual scent, they'll do anything they can to seek it out, especially if that involves digging. In case you didn't know, dogs love digging. But one pet owner got the fright of their life when their beloved pet dug up this gross bug in the backyard and delivered it right to their doorstep. No, just look at him. He seems so proud of himself. How can you say no to that face? Gee, buddy, what a generous gift. It's just what I wanted. Hey, at least he didn't eat the thing and spew it up later. These days, it seems like every kid wants to be a YouTuber. Hey, who can blame them with channels as good as this one, am I right? I'm not exactly sure what kind of content these girls from South Dakota were going for. Seems like some kind of hair tutorial. But little do they know, they're not the true stars of this video. Before they can complete whatever they're going for, one of the girls notices a commotion behind them as Milo the cat has the bright idea to clamber up into the lamp. But amusement quickly turns to total shock when Milo really ramps things up for his debut acting performance. I know all that howling makes it sound like the poor thing was getting electrocuted or something, but Milo's owners have reassured us that he was perfectly fine, just a little scared. Not to mention the fright he gave the girls. There's nothing quite as scene-stealing as pure cat chaos. They say you shouldn't leave your pet home alone for too long, and one dog owner from Spain will be taking that advice more seriously than most after she returned home to find her beloved corgi puppy named Goaty laying like this on the kitchen floor. Of course, she feared the worst, but when she got a little closer, she realized all wasn't quite as it seemed. Goaty was in fact alive and well and didn't seem to know what the fuss was about. It seems he managed to snatch a colorful dragon fruit from the fruit bowl and passed out after gorging himself on the tasty treat. What a prankster. Goaty isn't the only pet to send his owner into a tailspin with an unintentionally morbid prank. Just take a look at this kitty who managed to spill paprika all over the floor and then proceeded to play with it, creating a scene that looks shockingly gory at first glance. And what about this totally innocent pooch who happily sat on her owner's bed with a suspicious red smear around her mouth? It might look like she'd been out mauling local squirrels all day, but in reality, she'd just been chewing up her owner's best red lippy. Cats tend to get themselves into some rather precarious situations in the pursuit of smaller animals like birds or mice. And just take this kitty who decided to chase a bird right up onto the roof beams after it flew into the solarium of this house. The bird certainly has the upper hand here, but Mr. Cat is determined to make the leap to catch it, until this happens instead.
Oh my god!
He may have given himself, not to mention his owner, a nasty shock. But are you forgetting that cats always land on their feet? In fact, he apparently ran straight back up onto the beam for a second time. What's that famous saying? If at first you fall from a great height, try again. It's no secret that dogs will get their paws on pretty much anything given the chance, from human food to sofa cushions and expensive gifts. But what would you do if your dog uncovered something it shouldn't, like this terrifying sight? Hold up, has this innocent-looking pup just discovered the scene of an unsolved murder? It certainly looks that way, but the more likely explanation is that this excitable pup stole his owner's shoe, got distracted by a chew bone, and then put said bone inside the shoe for the best of both worlds. Sometimes it feels like our pets are trying to send us to an early grave. If you thought the photo of the cat with the missing arm was confusing enough, this one will have you seriously stumped. Why is this dog looking so casual about being literally chopped in half? Squint a little harder, and you might see what's actually going on here. That object isn't the dog's lower half at all. It's just a log that has been conveniently chopped off in just the right place. You can't see the pup's legs because of the way he's comfortably curled up. Yeah, he totally knows what he's doing, scaring us like that. If they really put their minds to it, our pets could be some seriously effective pranksters. Just imagine the mini heart attack you'd have after walking into the room to find your dog laying like this on the floor. I bet his owner was all like, "Oh my God, he's foaming from the mouth, someone get help!" But before the waterworks could really get going, he popped his head up with the ultimate psych. Turns out he just had a tissue in his mouth all along. I bet mommy needed a glass of wine after that whole fiasco. It's not unusual for your dog to come running back to you with something in their mouths when you let them off the leash during a walk, whether it's a stolen toy or a big old stick. But one owner nearly lost their mind when their beloved pooch turned up looking like he'd just taken a trip to the doggy dentist from hell. This heart-stopping image might make you do a double take, but what you're really looking at here is just a regular pine cone that looks like a horrifying, toothy maw. That's one way to make your owner pass out. When you decide to get a pet, it's not just the animal you're welcoming into your home, but all the chaos that comes with it, too. One woman from Tallahassee, Florida learned that the hard way thanks to one utterly hilarious saga in the early hours of one December morning in 2020.
Guys, there's a cat inside my Christmas tree. It's 4 in the morning, right? 4:15 in the morning. I hear a scuffle in through the doggy door. I don't know how the heck this just happened. There's a cat inside my Christmas tree.
It all started at 4:15 a.m. when Aubrey Iacobelli awoke to the sound of a scuffle when she found her dog sitting looking up at her Christmas tree and spotted a mass of gray fur between the branches. She concluded that the dog must have chased a cat up there. At first, she tried to use a frying pan and even a bottle of vinegar to coax the creature down, but nothing seemed to work. Then she made a surprising discovery. The brave creature, now hanging on for dear life, wasn't a cat at all.
Oh, it's a raccoon. This is bad. This is bad.
Before she had a chance to figure out how she was going to get the raccoon out of the tree, total chaos ensued.
Get.
In case you can't really tell what's going on, Iacobelli's dog decided to help out by getting into a scuffle with the raccoon, knocking over the tree in the process. Thankfully, neither animal was badly hurt, but this night from hell, it doesn't end there. Once the raccoon got free from the tree, it ran into the dining room. At 5 a.m., Iacobelli was at her wit's end.
5 in the morning. These are all the ornaments that made it. There's my beautiful tree. There's the raccoon. There's the dog.
That's right, the pesky raccoon found its way into the chandelier, where it stayed, swinging out of the dog's reach. That is, until Iacobelli came at it with a broom and managed to dislodge it before chasing it out of the house.
Come on. Go.
This has got to be one of the worst ways to start off your morning, and it's all thanks to her meddling dog. Unlike humans, pets can fall asleep pretty much anytime, anywhere they like. Just take a look at this conked-out hamster. Wait, has anyone checked that this little critter is actually breathing? Apparently, this morbid hamster loves to sleep in this position, like he's at his own open casket funeral. It probably scared the heck out of his owner the first time, but what's gonna happen when he actually does bite the dust? Haha, Hammy, you're so funny. Now, wake up. Seriously, wake up. The thing about dogs is that they sometimes forget to think before they act. Before they know it, these overexcitable animals have got themselves into a sticky situation and need immediate assistance. Like this Shiba Inu pup who got himself firmly wedged inside a faux bush. And this isn't any old bush. It's a bush backing onto a busy street, several feet off the ground. My best guess is that he ran full pelt into the bush without thinking what might be on the other side. At least he looks content with the whole thing. That grin is totally saying, "So this is my life now." I'm sure his owner was far more panicked than he was. When one pet owner heard an almighty crash in the kitchen one afternoon, they immediately feared that there might be an intruder in the house. After psyching themselves up, they ran inside to find a whole planter full of newly planted bulbs on the kitchen floor. And the true culprit wasn't far away. Just look at his face. He's all like, "Please, spare me, human, I didn't mean it." That's what you get when you very nearly send your owner into cardiac arrest, kitty. We've already seen plenty of reasons why you shouldn't leave your pets unattended. But let me give you one more for good measure. The look on these frisky feline faces says it all. They're totally like, "We didn't think you'd be home so soon." It may seem like they've been caught red-handed, or should I say pawed, in the middle of a steamy makeout session, but I'm going to choose to believe that they were just play fighting for the sake of my own sanity. If you're a true animal lover, you'll get as much enjoyment from seeing other people's pets out and about as you do from your own furry friends. But things got really exotic when someone spotted this Bengal tiger hanging around in a parking lot. Wait, what? Whoever snapped this alarming photo was probably mere seconds away from calling up the local zoo when they realized they might have got the wrong end of the stick. Turns out this wasn't a bloodthirsty predator at all. It was just a good boy lounging about in the sun. Man, I really need to get my eyes tested. Now, we've all heard that cats have 9 lives at some point, but sometimes it seems like these fearless felines really want to put that theory to the test. In 2015, ultralight aircraft pilot Romain Jantot from French Guiana was running a standard flight for a first-time passenger when things took a rather unexpected turn. All seems well as the aircraft accelerates on the runway and begins its takeoff. But about 38 seconds into the flight, a surprising stowaway creeps into view. Suddenly, a cat appears, seemingly out of nowhere, and crawls toward the passenger and her pilot. The cat seems pretty unbothered by the fact that it has found itself thousands of feet in the air and uses its claws to grip onto the aircraft with true grit and determination. But it takes a full minute for the pilot to notice the animal is even there. He tries not to alert his passenger to the cat's presence at first, as she surveys the beautiful landscape. But it isn't long until she catches a glimpse of it too. Usually a flight lasts around 20 minutes, but Jantot is quick to react and begins the descent. After a comfortable landing, the cat is lowered to safety, having been in the air for a full 3 minutes. The poor cat probably fell asleep inside the wing and awoke to find itself flying through the sky. And talk about a rude awakening. Which of these animal hijinks made you laugh the most? If you're a fan of pets behaving badly, why not check this video out next? It's about animals who are having a worse day than you. Until next time, thanks for watching, guys.